Wow. Welcome once again to the Shlicketty Newcast, episode 31. Oh my God. Wow, we're doing all right, but I got to do the usual. People like this. This is a good one. Our only special effects in the... Oh, geez, I did it again. Every week. Oh, HR is going to be on me. All right, Mike, the janitor, is going to be over there like, oh, what are you doing over here? Speaking of which, hey, my buddy Mike's in the house. I heard the doorbell ring. Here he is. There it is. They're working. There we go. All right, cool. Doors are open. Here I am. Welcome to the show. Let's get it on. Wow.
We got a bill.
We're going right in.
Yeah, we got a bill from the management company here for the amount of broken windows.
Oh, yeah.
So
the glass cleaners. Yeah.
Yeah. They're upset about it, but I smoothed it over. I talked him through it.
That's all right.
I told him it's a process. It's all right. We'll work through this together. You'll be all right. Don't worry.
No HR about it.
No HR about it.
Oh.
Don't want to get on the first name basis with HR.
What did HR stand for? Oh, human receiving? Human resources. That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Human resources. Right.
Oh my God. All right. So here we are. So we're here in Erie. We're still getting some snow and stuff like that.
Oh yeah.
It's been an adventurous week. We had ups and downs, ruts, plows. Sometimes
we talked about it a little last week, but I got an update on the ear thing. But keep going with the plows.
Yeah. Sometimes the plows don't come. So I was all last week. I had running through my head, send in the plows. There had to be plows. Send in the plows. Right. Yeah. Hit that up, YouTube.
It's kind of like send in the clowns.
Exactly.
Who did? Was that Anne Murray?
Man, my mom loved that song.
Yeah, I remember it on the radio when I was a kid. It was super depressing.
Super depressing, man. That was like the worst thing. I was like, are we going to make it through this day?
Mom? Will you hold me, Mom?
Yeah.
Yeah, I want to say it was like Anne Murray or something, yeah.
I want to say like Karen Carpenter or... No. Judy Collins.
Was it?
Yeah.
Yeah, she probably used the original, but I could see like in the 70s they would have people redo songs that were popular. So you might have like, there's the Linda Ronstadt version, and here's the Bette Midler version.
100%, yeah. Because I looked it up to get like the sheet music for it or whatever. Because I was like, man, I'll just program that shit in and fucking...
You know what you should do? Just get the karaoke track off the internet.
That's what I got to. I was like,
have Laurel Ann sing over.
Yeah, I was like, I'll just get the karaoke track with the piano. But it's like, it's just doing arpeggios, and there's more to the song than I remembered.
Yes.
So I was like, all right, that's a bit ambitious.
Yeah, and there's a sweeping...
Right, because I think you and I know the same version that got big when we were like 6 or 7 or something.
Yeah, there's the 70s AM radio version, and then there's that late 70s kind of FM burst.
Oh, was there?
Well, yeah, because it was 70s rock radio, but then the parents were still listening to this. It was kind of like the Classy 100 kind of version, but it wasn't. It was farther down the dial, but yeah.
You know what I clearly remember from the radio when I was like 6? The 6 or 7? The disco version theme of the Star Wars theme song.
Oh, yeah, I had that on vinyl.
I remember that on the radio. Like, I remember...
That was a long remix. You can get that on YouTube. Yeah,
it was like a 15-minute dance mix.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. I liked when they got to the Cantina theme. Was fun.
Right, that was sort of in the middle. And then after that, they had like some laser blasts and shit like that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, yeah, that's what it was, man. Yeah. But, I mean, for our dumb little brains at that period in time, like TV was like Chips and like Adam 12 and old Batman reruns and stuff like that.
What we consumed was a lot simpler.
Yeah, and then Star Wars blew our little fucking minds.
Yeah.
And then after that, anything that harkened back to that Star Wars mind-blowing thing was like crack to us.
Sure.
Anything.
That's why spin-offs were successful.
Yeah, because there was so little of it. There was just this one little shining... What was the thing I used to say on Battlestar Galactica? The one shining ray of hope or whatever?
Yeah. It was just space. Anything space.
Whoa, that was space. Yeah, and then they rolled out, like the Battlestar Galactica and the Buck Rogers and all that sort of stuff, which were all pale comparisons. But that, and to me, it was always about that tangibleness of Tatooine in the beginning.
Sure.
But
it was also...
sold it as the realism.
I know. I told somebody that the other day at the comedy show. This kid was debating with somebody about is Star Trek better than Star Wars, blah, blah, blah. And I told him...
I think that's all made up.
Yeah, that's just, they're just trying to, whatever.
Yeah.
But I said, well, let's look at it this way. Star Wars was designed to sell toys.
Pretty much.
Star Trek wasn't really designed to sell toys. They just sold toys after the fact because,
Because of Planet of the Apes was successful.
Yeah, because that's what you do in the 70s, in the early 80s, boom.
Yeah.
But Star Wars was clearly designed to sell toys. Because, I mean, you wouldn't have fucking Ewoks. Ewoks stink!
Yeah, dude, there's a lot of Return
In
of
the
the
books,
Jedi
I heard
that
they were
stinks.
supposed to be Wookiees, and then they changed it to cute little Ewoks. It would have been cool as fuck to have Wookiees.
It would have made a lot more sense. Because people forget this with the Ewoks. Remember at the beginning where they capture Han and Leia and 3PO before 3PO reveals himself to be the Golden God?
Yeah.
They're going to eat them.
Yeah.
The Ewoks are carnivorous. They were going to eat Han, Leia, and Chewie. Don't forget this. People are like, oh, the Ewoks are cute. They're carnivorous. And then, keep in mind, at the end, when they're having the jub and everybody's singing, and the dude does the little drum fill on the 3 stormtrooper helmets.
Yeah.
What happened to those stormtroopers? Those Ewoks look well fed.
Soup du jour.
Oh, and the soup of the day is? Clone.
We'll have some clone soup, please.
Wow.
I
mean, think about that harsh reality fact. Now, if it were Wookiees, it'd make a lot more sense, and you'd be like, well, of course they're going to eat them.
Yeah, because because Wookiees would be like Bigfoots.
But the little teddy bears, the little teddy ruxpins.
Yeah, and they were so
It's a little dark.
lame.
It's a little dark for them.
I'll admit they're cute, but they're lame.
Yeah, they're not cute.
Whatever. That's the thing in the 80s, they had to add everything cute. We talked about this a couple eps back, from Godzuki to Godzilla to
And Scrappy Doo.
Oh, the Oliver and the Brady Bunch. So you gotta have a cutesy.
Now, I didn't mind it when they went laterally. Remember they had Scooby Doo and then they had Scooby Dum? I like Scooby Dum.
Scooby Dum was all right.
Scooby Dum was all right.
Yeah, he was like the redneck cousin. He's
the redneck
fun.
cousin, yeah. The redneck
Scrappy
cousin.
Doo stinks.
Yeah, because Scrappy Doo took over. He was trying to do too much.
Yeah, it was always the young whippersnapper.
He had all those stupid catchphrases, the puppy power. It was like, every time he said puppy power, I just want to kind of hold him down on the floor.
I forgot about puppy power. Yeah, not good. Not good. Yeah. So anyway, where would we? Oh, okay. Yeah, I think we were talking about the cold weather. It was like Hoth. It was Star Wars out there. Yeah, I don't know. We'll go. So we made it through the winter. What we did? Where were we at?
What are you trying to get back to where we started?
Yeah.
Oh,
we took a sidetrack.
Yeah, but it's just down that Star Wars rabbit hole. Just kind of the idea of like, when Star Wars came along, it blew our minds. But it was such a little fucking experience that held so much in it that anything that harkened back to it was like crack dust. So
sure.
we went for a lot of stuff that you look back on and you go, well, that's terrible. But it was Star Trek-like.
Yeah, that's all we had.
Because don't forget, we saw those movies in like 77, 78 maybe. And because when it first came out in 77, nobody was watching it much. And it got huge. And it got really huge over that Christmas. And then they re-released it wide the next year in 78.
Why did it get huge over Christmas? Because the toy push.
The toy push, which they didn't even have the toys. That was the infamous,
put the toys out before.
Yeah.
And then you'd be like, who's this hammerhead guy? And then
no, that was even before them. Yeah. There was only the original, what was it, 8 or 12? Somebody write in and tell me. It was like 8 characters, right?
Yeah.
There was...
Jawa, Sandperson, a Stormtrooper, a Vader,
Yeah, Ben Kenobi, Luke Skywalker, Han Solo, Chewie,
and Leia.
R2, C3PO, and Leia. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever that
is.
is.
And a Jawa.
Yeah, you said that, yeah. Yeah, so I don't know, maybe that's 10, maybe it's 12, I don't know. But then they only had like 3 or 4 of them out at the time. So what you got was like this piece of paper that said they were going to send you the other ones whenever they actually got them made.
Yeah.
Because they were
didn't
behind
you
on
flip
the
over the box? On the box, they had the pictures of everybody.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna get that Ugnaught someday.
It was like an order form.
Yeah.
And then they had on the back of it was like the Creature Cantina playset.
Yeah.
With the Creature Cantina playset, that's where they rolled out the little snaggletooth guy, hammerhead guy, Greedo.
R2D4.
Yeah, R5D4.
Yeah. Some of the, yep.
Yeah.
Boba Fett.
Yeah, Boba Fett. No. He didn't turn up till Empire.
Yeah. But I thought Boba Fett was early, because we were on him. But I thought he was hard to get. That was kind of a rare. That was kind of like, that's coming out.
Well, okay, so to my recollection, this is going to be so useless to anybody who's not into this stuff. But I think the first reference of Boba Fett was the animated thing in the Christmas special.
Oh, the Christmas one. Oh,
which was that Christmas 77. You know what
yeah.
I mean? Because it was so new that nobody had seen it, so nobody knew what it was.
Yeah, so they had to push it, and they knew they were going to get a lot of eyes on at Christmas time.
Right, but that's why, like, when you watch that special, it's like it's made by people who don't know what Star Wars is, and they don't care. You know, it's made by like old school like vaudeville showbiz people that are just work-a-day people, and they're like, I don't know, it's something with space and aliens for the kids. I don't know, give them a monster.
Stinks.
Yeah.
Oh, you stink.
It's terrible. But then it was in Empire where we get to see Boba Fett and that whole scene. Because the bounty hunters, the boss.
Right, they pulled it together for it. Yeah. I don't know. I think Star Wars stinks. I hate all these. Star Wars stinks. I'm done with it.
Yeah. Well, speaking of which, I started watching the Skeleton Crew series.
Jude Law.
Right, which is Star Wars Goonies.
Is it?
So it's the kids, but I'm most of the way through the first episode, and it's not super saccharine kiddie-like.
Oh, okay.
It does sort of have that. The kids have a little bit more agency. Like, they're sort of rebels. Like, they know what the rules are, but they're rejecting the rules.
Of course.
But they stumble across a spaceship buried in the dirt, buried in the ground.
Oh.
And they're able to get in and get it fired up.
So is Jude Law pretty good?
He hasn't shown up yet.
Oh, he hasn't showed up yet.
It's really just the kids at this point.
Okay. All right.
And it is kind of funny because it's like Star Wars suburbs, right? You know, because when we saw Star Wars, like, you know, it's all like, all there is Tatooine and then the Death Star.
Yeah.
Like, that's all we see. But you see this planet where it's like literally suburbs. Huh. You know what I mean? The kid's dad goes to work, and you know the kid's got school, and his friend is one of those blue guys that kind of look like an elephant.
Oh,
you know,
all right. The blue guy, yeah.
Yeah, that's his best
Babar.
friend, Jeff. Yeah, or whatever. Yeah.
My friend Babar.
Yeah. So the Skeleton Crew seems pretty good. I don't know. Check it out. But you know what we've been digging, and I told you about this, is on Netflix. I picked up the Netflix for a couple of months just to see the Tyson, what's his face fight, which, holy shit, Tyson's old. Okay. Follow the House of Usher, which is, so it's Mike Flanagan who wrote and directed like Ouija 2, which is pretty good. It feels like a period movie. Like it's really cool.
We talked about Ouija 2 last time.
Yeah, and so this is like the third series that he's done with Netflix. He did something like The Haunting of Bly Manor.
Oh,
and then he did.
I've seen The Haunting of Bly Manor. I know what you're talking about.
And then he did The Haunting of Hill House.
Oh, Hill House. That's the one I saw. All right.
Yeah, and then so this now is all Edgar Allan Poe themed stuff. So it's Follow the House of Usher. So each episode is a theme from a Edgar Allan Poe story.
Oh.
Right. Ooh. So like I forget the first one. Maybe it's The Raven, and then there's like Mask of the Red Death, and then The Black Cat, and you know.
All right.
So
it's a worthy rec.
So it's got an overall story of Bruce Greenwood is this old rich guy that runs this big drug company, and he's got like 7 kids, and the story starts and he's talking to this old black dude that he's known for decades, who's like a cop, private investigator or something.
Sure.
And so the investigator guy comes to Bruce Greenwood for answers and something or whatever. And Bruce Greenwood, you know, he's like the old dude, and then they're in some trashed, ruined old house that he grew up in, and he starts telling the story about how all 7 of his kids died. And so those are the individual episodes.
Oh, I see. So you got 7 episodes. You got 7 kids, 7 episodes.
Right.
All right.
So the first episode sort of lays everything out and establishes everything, right? Okay. But yeah, it's really well written. It's really well made. It sucks you into it. You're engaged in what's going on. You know.
Does one episode call back to another one? Since
yeah.
7 kids. Okay, so there's parts that are. What's the word? Intertwined?
Right. So, because the whole overarching thing is it's Bruce Greenwood and, or from your point of view, Bruce Greenwood, and this other guy who is playing, you know, Edgar Allan Poe invented the detective story. Does everybody know this? Everybody know this?
No. Nobody did.
He wrote a short story called Murder in the Rue Morgue. It was the very
not
first...
the Iron Maiden song.
No, that all came later. Everything came later. He wrote the story, and it was a detective story.
Okay.
He started the detective story. After him came Arthur Conan Doyle with Sherlock Holmes. After that came Agatha Christie with Miss Marple and Poirot, Hercule Poirot. Right?
And then came Judy Blume.
What was the other one?
Hardy Boys?
What was it? Hello, God, it's me, Margaret.
The Hardy Boys? You mean the Hardy Boys Mysteries?
The Nancy Drew. Oh my God! Remember that TV show? Remember that TV show when we were kids?
Yeah, didn't we have the hardback books too? They all had the blue binders. Yeah, you could put them on a desk.
Oh, speaking of which, and with the Hardy Boys and Nancy Drew books when we were kids, so they used to come around to the schools and do the Scholastic books thing.
Yeah. Scholastic. Yeah, I wanted to have a whole episode on Scholastic books one of these
My
days.
girlfriend applied for that job.
What for?
To be the Scholastic books, we have to go to the schools and shit.
Wow.
That's one of the jobs
salesman.
she applied for.
That's like the monorail salesman in the Simpsons episode.
She's like, that would just be fun. I'm like, it would. Because remember that when they would come into school and.
Oh yeah.
Oh, my God.
We'd get our parents. We'd have the little newspaper printout with all the pictures of things. And you
I
fill
want
out
to
the
get
order
this
for
and
'em.
this and you know.
Circling things. All right, I want that.
And my
I
mom's
want
like a reading
book.
teacher, so she's all like books, yes.
Yeah, that would have been fun. Yeah, Scholastic Book Fair was always fun. I like the book fair.
Scholastic Book Fair rep or something like that, sales rep or
Wow.
something. Yeah,
I didn't know they
she
had a
applied
rep.
for
I thought it was just mail order. I just thought it was just,
No, remember there was the person comes and they, I don't know, it was always a fun thing
I
or
don't
something.
remember anyone coming there, but I do remember taking the forms home and then
Was
calling mom.
was it not somebody coming there? Did they just give us like a little pamphlet
Yeah, it
catalog
seemed
with
like
an
they
order
would just hand
form?
them out. Like, it'd be like, hand them out for the weekend and you'd return them Monday. Friday at the end of the day, the teacher just goes around and puts them on everybody's desk and we're like, whoa!
I think in my mind, it's like the Sweet Pickles bus rolled up outside the elementary school.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they just handed them out and then we took them home for the weekend. And
Yeah, it must have been.
then we did chores around the house to try to get the money for the Scholastic Book Fair.
Yeah. Yeah, and then and then it took so long for the books to come in that you forget about it.
Yeah.
Then the books come in and you're like, oh yeah, I forgot about this. I got a word search book. Yeah.
Right. I got Nancy Drew.
Yeah.
Look at that.
Anyway, which brings us back to it. So the Nancy Drew and the Hardy Boys, or that TV show.
I never saw the show. No, I
You
kind of
didn't
read
watch
the
that show when you were a kid?
No, I just read a few of the books, but they're so vague in my head. I don't even know if I knew what I was reading. I
don't think I ever read the books. You know what I did read, mystery book wise, when I was a kid, was Encyclopedia Brown.
Oh, yeah, Encyclopedia Brown.
Yeah.
Yeah, didn't he have a dog? He had like a little dog.
Did he? Something about riding a bike. He probably had a dog.
Yeah. Encyclopedia Brown. Yeah.
Boy Detective.
Buster. Yeah. God, that's vague in my head.
Right?
Yeah, that's old.
I remember I had like a bunch of those books. Whatever,
Oh.
Something to do. But we were talking about the fall of House of Usher.
House of Usher.
On the Netflix.
All right.
It's really good.
Good rec.
It's that Mike Flanagan. He's a real good director. He's writing it. Like, he's got it on lock. It's a good story. It sucks you in. Like, keeps you focused on what's happening.
Yeah.
It's cool. We've been enjoying the hell out of it. So that's good.
I had the day off of work today, and I got sucked into Netflix. Now, what I've been watching, now I'm on season 2. I've been watching this show called Loudermilk.
Yeah.
You familiar with that?
I've heard of it, but I can't.
I mean, a guy in recovery. He's kind of snarky, snacky. He's the guy from Office Space.
Is he snacky?
Yeah, snarky.
Wait, which guy from Office Space?
The main dude.
Oh, Ron Livingston?
Ron Livingston. And Will Sasso's in it. Now, you forget what a great actor Will Sasso is. Comedic actor, I was watching, especially in the second season, he's really building this character up. And it's just kind of like, you're like, wow, Will Sasso he's top notch.
Well, he was like on Mad TV and shit, wasn't he?
Yeah.
He's like sketch comedy guy.
But he can do sitcoms. This guy, he's the guy to hire, man. He's great.
If you can do comedy and shit effectively, you can do drama.
But this was kind of comedic drama, but built around recovery of an alcoholic guy in Seattle. It's kind of one of those. It's kind of, I'm not going to say it's super great, but I like it. I like it for the character built. Appearances, but Brian Regan's in there. He makes an appearance. He's part of the focus group. But yeah, it's good. It's good. So I like Loudermilk.
Loudermilk, huh?
Yeah. I mean, I'm not going to say, oh my God, it's going to change the world. But it's a pleasant watch. That the girlfriend doesn't even watch it. So I watch it when I get a little time by myself. I go, I'll watch a couple episodes for Loudermilk.
Now, is that new? Is it current, or is it from like 5-6 years ago?
No, within 3 years, you know.
I feel like my beard's all cattywompus.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's recent.
Did you say catterwampy?
Cattywompus.
Cattywompus. Let's bring that term back. Cattywompus.
You know, I tell you, I got a lot of these, like, you used to always find it funny, the sort of weird anachronistic phrases that I would sometimes use that I sort of heard growing up and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, wasn't it you were really fascinated with the phrase "hell's half acre"?
Well, yeah, stuff like that. I'm like, what
Like, I heard
is
that growing up all the time. Like, I looked all over hell's half acre for it, and I cannot find it.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Yeah, I've always been fascinated with retro vernacular.
But I found, you know what I found fascinating? When I went over to England.
Uh-oh. All roads lead to when I went to England.
Dude, it was fucking...
I know you love England. I know.
Well, I mean, for me, you know, it was pretty entertaining. But I didn't even get to hardly see any of the shit I want to see. Just words and phrases that they use over there that actually were like ringing bells in my head. Huh. Like sometimes their sentence structure is the way my brain works. And I remember my brain working that way when I was a little kid.
Huh.
You know what I mean? Yeah, it was kind of weird, but it led into this whole, you see like, in movies and TV where like, Italian Americans go back to Italy, the homeland, or the Jewish people go back to Israel or whatever. People going to the homeland thing. Boy, that really sort of like stuck me right in the fucking brain of like that language usage and phraseology and stuff. When I got there, it was like ringing bells that I hadn't thought about in decades.
Wow.
You know what I mean? It was interesting.
Wow.
Never really had that, anywhere else. Obviously, I didn't have it in fucking Brazil.
Well, that's kind of why we do a whole pod. The whole idea of the Shlicketty Newcast is ringing bells in people's heads. A little bit of nostalgia. We like to do a little talk about the this, talk about the now. The lists have been going kind of funny, but before we get to this week's list, because I know you're gonna like the list, but stay tuned. Those of you who don't know, we at the end of every episode we do a best worst list.
Top 5, bottom 5.
Yeah, and sometimes it's controversial, sometimes not. It's just all our point of view.
Sometimes controversial. Yeah, we've had people want to kill us because we said popcorn wasn't a good snack. No, I'm just kidding.
Right. I forget some of the more controversial takes, the ones where the old Aaron, you're an idiot, you stink, kill yourself. I don't know. You got crooked teeth and your nose is big and your idea that pizza is the best snack sucks.
I don't like you at all, sir.
Yeah, well,
I say no.
Gee, I don't know what my nose had to do with anything and my crooked teeth, but okay. But you'll like the list. This week's list, I don't know. We're bouncing ideas, and eventually we got so many eps to go that it's like, we could pull from the ether all day in the Wayback Machine. So, but we'll talk about the now. So now,
but for the future, if anybody's got an idea for a list, send it in. Dewcast@gmail.com.
Yes, do it.
Dewcast@gmail.com. Want to know how to spell it? Look on the sign. Yeah. Oh, actually, the sign's wrong.
Oh, yeah.
The sign's still thedewcast.com.
Well, it says thedewcast.com. Yeah, we have thedewcast.com.
Do we?
Yeah, but it goes right to our YouTube page.
Oh, okay.
I have it hyperlinked, so if you click it in. I also have schlickettydo.com. And it goes right to the YouTube page, so you can see episodes. So
landing pages, okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
It's the hamster tube. It's the informational hamster tube, man.
They're called sales funnels.
I think, yeah. Okay, sales funnel. So speaking of sales funnel, here we go. I got caught in a sales funnel again. Now, a few episodes back, if you caught, Aaron falls prey to his stupid Facebook algorithm.
Oh, Facebook sales items.
Aaron makes impulse purchases.
Man, when I was working debit card disputes, man, so many times people were like, I did this thing. Where'd you find these people? I didn't find them. They came across my Facebook feed. I'm like, who are they? I don't know. Where are they? I don't know.
I know. I do it. and they have these snazzy commercials. I go, well, man, the production value is so good on that. This can't be a scam. Well, but it ends up being true because it takes a while. Usually it's just foreign entities, and it takes a while to get here. And I always think, oh, all right, like that one episode.
Foreign entities.
That one episode back, I got the farts hat, remember?
Oh, the farts hat made me laugh. That was pretty dope. You know, the thing that really made me laugh is that they were like puffy letters.
Yeah, puffy farts hat. I've yet to wear the farts hat in the public. Which,
oh, wait, you haven't done that yet?
No.
Dude, I'm telling you, I'll lay you dollars to donuts. If you wear that in the grocery store, God, I think it would be hysterical if somebody said something to you about it. That would be funny as hell to me.
Yeah, but nowadays, I don't think anyone will say anything.
I don't think anybody will say anything.
No, other than, like I said, my prediction was maybe
our world
like,
is too unfun.
Yeah, maybe I could almost see like a 16-year-old checkout kid at Wegmans going, cool hat.
Yeah, yeah, he'll laugh at it.
Right. But nobody else is going to break the fourth wall.
No, I always picture like remember when we were teenagers, like if you wore a hat like that, there would be some old guy or some old lady who would be so outraged.
Yeah.
That they would be like, take that off. You know?
Yeah. Or we'd be wearing like an Iron Maiden Number of the Beast shirt, and they'd be like, oh, it's a devil shirt. Oh. You know, and everyone, you know, or, you know, there's a lot more interaction with things. Nowadays, people kind of keep themselves. It's kind of like, well, whatever. Anything goes. You know, we're in the Matrix now. Everything goes.
People are psychopaths.
Yeah. So here I go. It came across my feed, you know.
It's a box of fun?
Oh, this is the old. But before I get into the unboxing of this one, next week is going to be our half-assed Christmas extravaganza.
Oh, it's that time of year?
It is. We're going to celebrate Christmas next year. Well, we're going to film it next week. So you're going to like it. And you're going to, if your kink is unboxing videos, you're going to come to the right place.
Did you say if your kink?
If your kink is that, that's your search engine, unboxing videos, because we're going to be unboxing some gifts. Santa came early.
Oh, we are?
Woohoo! Mike, you are in for a tasty treat.
Oh, uh-oh.
And no food. There's no food.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah, unless you bring some cookies or something.
Yeah, because I'm like a kids menu eater. I'm done with food.
Dino Nuggies.
Oh, I'm okay with those.
Exactly.
It's so dumb. I just walk into it. Just walk right into it.
Yeah.
Dinosaur-shaped chicken nuggets.
So the unboxing video, you're gonna like it. It's gonna be fun. We'll talk about Christmas stuff. Best of. We don't know what the list is gonna be. Best worst of. So I'm gonna do the list this week. I'll leave it to you, Mike, for the best worst list for the half-assed Halloween. Half-assed.
The Christmas
extravaganza.
They're all half-assed, but this one.
I know. It's in all its cable access glory. It's going to harken back to the cable access shows of the 80s that you accidentally tuned into at 11:30 p.m. at night.
Man, do you remember like going over to like relatives' houses that you don't normally go over to, and the crap that they would have on TV around the holidays? I always remember I could not avoid the goddamn Jerry Lewis telethon when I was a kid.
Oh, the Jerry Lewis telethon.
There was nothing more depressing to me than that, right?
Parts were. It depends who's you'd have Anne Murray singing "Send in the Clowns," and then the next one would be the Harlem Globetrotters. You know, it'd go.
I mean,
it'd go like from the Globetrotters to "Send in the Clowns."
I mean, when I was a little kid,
juggler.
When I was a little kid, the Jerry Lewis telethon and Lawrence Welk were ubiquitous. I don't know why.
Yeah, Lawrence Welk.
And then it got to a point where I knew who Jerry Lewis was, and I'd seen some Jerry Lewis movies, and then it was like, oh yeah, let's watch the telethon, see what's doing. And you know, you do that for like a year or two, and then you're like, I don't know about this, you know. But then you can't escape it. Like every time I turned around, it was a Jerry Lewis telethon. I swear to God.
And Jerry Lewis was funny when I was a kid.
Wasn't he doing 4 a year? 4 telethons a year?
Oh, I thought it was only twice. Maybe I thought there was like a winter one and a summer one.
Maybe it seemed like a lot. Maybe they repeated them.
I don't know.
Oh, you know what it was? He would do 2 a year. But then the local PBS station would do their telethon.
Oh, yeah. And you'd see the people on the phones in the background and the numbers nonstop.
With the canvas tote bags.
Yeah.
Anyway, if you didn't grow up watching TV, you don't know what the hell we're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
You weren't there.
TV was God for us. Still is.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, it was the dancing blue light of happiness, bringing the window to the world.
So unboxing videos, Mike, this might be our new thing. because we might get more listeners because we're unboxing. I think it's a thing.
If we need to, I'll set up an overhead camera. Get the top-down shot.
Now, should I tell you what I thought I was getting first? Do you want to know what I thought I was getting?
Okay.
So what I got.
So this is a mix-up from the originating sender. It's not a mix-up in the mail. So you ordered one thing. You ordered A, and you received B.
Yes.
Okay. What was the original A? What did you order?
I saw a Daniel Boone hat.
Oh, like a coonskin cap?
I always wanted a coonskin cap.
Oh, so were you trying to find like a good quality one? Or?
Well, it was a good deal. I was like, okay, $16.95.
$16.95.
Yeah, it was faux because I don't want a real raccoon hat. I mean, that's kind of gross.
True. Depends on where it's coming from. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of gross. I'm okay with. I want faux fur. I'm okay.
Even been washed, you know.
Yeah, but I'm not into wearing taxidermy. It's not my kink.
You know, really, when you get down to it,
yeah,
that's what it is.
That's kind of weird. Okay, but so I was like, a coonskin hat, a band, like kind of like, and it looked like almost like the bully on Christmas Story.
Scott Farkas.
It was like a Scott Farkas hat. That's what I was getting. I always was fascinated with it because remember the kids in Neverland in Peter Pan?
Oh, right. There was they all had foxtails or something.
Yes, it was all in my head from that. That's kind of what as a little kid, I was like, all right, this is going to be a bucket list buy. I'll probably never wear it out of the house.
And this is all 50s imagery that we grew up with as like reruns on TV. It was so ubiquitous, you don't even question it.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm going to wear a Daniel Boone hat. I'm not going to wear a coonskin hat with the raccoon's tail off the back to be cool. I just kind of wanted, I was going to hang it on a hook and just be done with it for nostalgia's sake.
Now, if you
bucket list item.
If you find at like a thrift store some sort of like animal head with an antler, you hang the coonskin cap on that.
Yeah.
And then you put like a goddamn blunderbuss musket underneath it on the wall.
Sure. Right. Yeah. Just hang it on the hook.
From a hunting lodge
coonskin hat.
from 100 years ago.
Yeah, something you'd see in your workshop. Hanging on the wall.
Right. Or or shit you get at like Grandpa's cabin when you inherit it.
So here we go. I ordered.
Okay, so you ordered a coonskin cap.
Yeah.
And this is what you got.
Yeah. Well, it took a while. I totally forgot about it. And this is what came back. Let's hit it. There's the fur. Can you see the fur, everybody? Oh, it's super soft. It's super soft. Should I put it on and then turn around?
Yeah.
All right.
Or just slap it on.
I'll go off camera for this one.
Yeah, you think you're off camera, but you're not.
I know. You're probably seeing the top of my head right now. Here we go.
Yeah, slap it on and let's go. I gotta look again. Oh, no, don't tie it.
Don't tie it?
It'll strangle you.
Now, here's the raccoon tail, which I really wanted. This is the part I wanted, and it's miniature.
Wow.
They jipped me on the tail. The one part I wanted. You had one job. Give me the tail. I'll take the ears. The ears are fine.
Dude, the ears are like regular size. The ears are like your head size, but then the tail is from like a small creature about this big.
Yeah, I know. If this would have been huge, if I would have had a huge raccoon tail off the back, this could be cool.
Dude, they could have made that a lot better. Okay, two things. First off, put a little face on it.
Yeah.
Put a little face,
I was like an anime
eyes,
character.
Nose, and snout. And then the other thing is those things that are dangling. They should have made those little paws.
Yeah, they should be paws. I should put little claws on them.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Dude, that is like 2 degrees off a cosplay.
It is. It's kind of, I look like a cosplay anime character.
Wow.
Like I look like some weird character out of
like,
out
especially
of a video
from the
game.
back. Turn it. Show me the back again. We'll get this on camera. You'll see it in the mix. It's like looking from the back of like a fat little raccoon. like from some sort of like, Japanese anime, what's the guy, Miyazaki?
Yeah.
Hayao Miyazaki.
This came from, I want to say China, definitely China.
Right.
Zhangzhou, Zing, Zhang, Chang, Wang, China.
Guangzhou.
Yep, and there it is. There it is. So they obviously...
I tell you, man, like the front...
Their raccoons look differently in China, apparently.
Well, it's a red panda.
Oh, maybe it's a red panda hat.
Yeah, it could be. You don't know. So, if you want more information about red pandas,
Google red panda.
no, Disney Plus has a documentary called Turning Red. It's all about red pandas.
All right.
Yeah. It's made by Pixar. You'll love it.
All right.
It's a good time.
It's surprisingly, you want, here, I'll put it back on, but feel it. Feel that.
Oh, no, I know.
It's soft.
To a degree. To a degree. Yeah, I know.
Is that what raccoons look like in China? Their tails stink. They got to evolve more.
I mean, it's the tiniest little tail. It's almost like if I were holding this like this, and I was like you'd think I'm petting a cat, right? Like I'm Blofeld. Like, no, Mr. Bond, I expect you to die.
we should put like
I'm telling you, dude.
How about googly eyes on top, like big giant eyes?
If this is on your head like this, right, with the ears,
yeah,
snout, a couple of fucking like cold
we
button
get
eyes.
like Muppet eyes. We should put like Muppet eyes on
yeah,
there.
we could do it Coraline style. Just take some big black buttons and sew those on there.
Yeah, or maybe maybe we
could
should do that. Maybe we should make it into a Muppet.
Yeah, you know what? That's not a bad idea because you know you're
It almost looks like a whole head.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you're most of the way there. When you see it from the back, it's like a fat little guy sitting on a log. Like he's like eating.
Yeah, maybe we could turn it into a Muppet or a puppet. Ooh, that could be fun. Maybe we could use the raw materials as a.
It's almost like if you took these guys and just shortened them up here, so they're actually these would be his arms, these would be his paws.
That's what I'm saying.
You know, and then you put a face on him. I mean, shit, if you wanted to, you could get nuts and put a mouth plate in here, and then just make a lower jaw.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, when you look at it that way, it almost looks like the Caddyshack, the gopher.
Kinda, yeah.
It's like a giant gopher.
Wow.
I don't know if you can see it. Like the lighting's not super great in here.
I'll bring it over here. Throw it here. We'll show it.
Here. Well, I mean, I model it on my head.
You make it look like a fez from the Water Buffalo Club from Fred Flintstone.
It's flat on top.
Well, you have a beard, so that looks extra Water Buffalo Club. Excuse me. Cough, cough, cough.
Yeah, like these are the little feet.
That is hilarious.
All right, I'm done messing with that. Okay.
Give me a throw. There we go. All right, let's get her back on. Well, speaking of, wow.
You know what? It's synthetic. It's made out of like polyester nylon sort of thing. Because I got a robe that I got at Target for like 20 or 30 bucks.
Yeah.
That's like made out of that. It's incredibly hot because it doesn't
This feels like
breathe.
it would get hot. Yeah, if I was
doesn't
shoveling
breathe.
snow in this, I'd be like,
If you were, because it feels like it's lined inside.
Yeah.
You know, so it's got a lining.
Yeah.
Yeah, you probably could wear that outside, and that would actually keep you fairly warm.
I'd look ridiculous though, but it could be funny. This could be funny too. I could shovel.
Well, I mean, you got ear flaps and everything.
Yeah, it's kind of ready to go for shovel season, huh?
So what happens if you do tie the paws?
Well, it's tight. I mean, you just look extra dorky. I mean, maybe it would keep it on tighter.
Well, keep it from blowing off.
Yeah, but it's tight enough. It won't blow off. I don't think it'll blow off.
Yeah, don't double knot it. I don't want to.
So there we
I
go.
don't want to cut you out of it.
Oh, we're right on schedule. Well, you know what? We should put the eyes up there like a Muppet or a puppet.
We could totally just go over to fucking Joann Fabrics, find a couple of fucking big black buttons, with like 4 holes in them.
Oh yeah.
And we'll just take a fucking needle and thread and just fucking put
We
a couple
could
of
do
loops through.
that. I'd almost like to really Muppetize it and get like eyelids and squeeze the thing so the eyelids close and everything like that.
Well, that's a whole apparatus.
Yeah.
You know who does that? I saw a video on YouTube one time. Fucking Jeff Dunham.
Oh yeah, he knows the shit.
Dude.
Yeah.
That guy's got so much money.
Oh well, yeah. He's one of the highest grossing tours.
For over 20 years.
Yeah.
Dude, you know he has a Batmobile, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Also in this video, it was funny. He got delivered, and he was trying to keep his wife from seeing it, but she saw it, and he was like, no, don't make me get rid of it. He got an old school OG Jarts set.
Jarts? We were just talking about Jarts last week.
Yeah. It was
Like the metal, oh wow.
The metal tip ones. And she's like, oh no, we have children. Are you crazy? He's like, no.
Throwing them up in the air.
It was pretty dope, yeah. And he was showing in his garage, he had his old school science chemistry kit.
Oh,
from
we were just
50s.
talking about that too.
From the 50s.
Wow,
yeah.
we got to get him on the show.
Yeah. We'll call up Jeff Dunham and book him on the show. Jeff, come talk to us. Yeah, and then the video was like him literally making a new character in his fucking garage.
Wow.
Yeah.
I got to see that. That sounds like a fun
watch.
It
ends with him going on stage with the new character, and they show some bits.
Well, perfect segue, building a new character, because guess what today's best top 5 list is, Mike?
Top 5, bottom 5?
Top 5, bottom 5. All right, here's the subject.
We need theme music for the top 5, bottom 5, like Letterman used to do. Is it from the home office in Milwaukee?
Boise, Idaho. Branson, Missouri.
Waukesha, Wisconsin.
Going to Branson. All right, so here we go. Best worst, Jim Henson Muppets from the Sesame Street to the Muppet Show era.
Okay, so any Muppet.
Well, let's not go too far off, because we got, we can't go, Fraggle Rock, because
No, yeah. We're not doing Fraggle Rock, we're not doing Dark Crystal, we're not doing Labyrinth.
Right. No Labyrinth thing,
We're talking big 2, Sesame Street, Muppet Show.
Yeah, and from the era, because
there was the movies.
Yeah, the movies were after the fact, and there was a lot of extraneous characters, and Sesame Street added characters recently in the 90s and whatnot. But we're talking like the 70s, 80s, when the Muppet Show was strong, Sesame Street was strong, we were growing out of Sesame Street, we're going into the Muppet Show.
Because there was a lot of carryover.
82. It's probably 82, 77 to 82, somewhere in that world.
I will say this. I sort of loved the Muppets from Sesame Street.
Yeah, they were a crossover then.
But they weren't. Kermit was.
Kermit, right.
That was the only one, really.
Yeah, Kermit. And Robin, his cousin.
Right. You know who I fucking
I like Robin.
You know who I really loved on Sesame Street?
Huh.
Grover.
Well, we'll get to that. We'll talk about Grover. We got plenty of time for Grover.
We're
going to get to it. I know. It makes me so gets you in the feels. Because the best... So we'll go with the best 5.
Speaking of the Muppets getting me in the fields, dude, I can barely watch the Muppet Show on Disney Plus.
Did you get lumpy?
Oh, dude. It makes me so happy.
The original show, the original 10 episodes or 12 episodes.
Dude, I watched the documentary of it on Netflix.
Yeah.
And they would talk, that first season, they were literally making it up as they go.
Yeah.
Miss Piggy isn't even a character. You can see Miss Piggy develop in the first half dozen episodes.
Yeah.
And in the 8th episode, there's Miss Piggy.
All right.
It's it's fascinating.
Wow.
And it's all like old school vaudeville, putting on a show,
Yeah, I like it. And it's like behind the scenes of a vaudeville show. Perfect setting. Perfect setting.
Yeah.
So we're going to go, all right, we'll go best 5, worst 5. Now.
All right, top 5, bottom 5 Muppets characters.
All right. Sesame Street to the Muppet Show area.
Sesame Street, Muppet Show.
I got to go best 5. We're going to start with 5.
You're going to start with the top list. Best.
Yeah. Big Bird. Number 5, Big Bird. He's great. The reason why I put Big Bird on there is because Big Bird was kind of silly. He was huggable. He had all the layers. He could get emotional, but he could play simple. He was a good character. He had a lot of expression in the way he talked. The puppeteers and the people who worked him really got his personality out, So I'll give him that. That's why I like the Big Bird.
It was that one guy who played him for so many years. What the fuck was his name?
And the voiceover
Carol.
was good.
Carel.
Right.
Carol something.
Yeah, I remember when he died, it was a big deal.
Yeah. Big Bird was great. The other 2 things that are great about Big Bird is that Big Bird was the face of Sesame Street.
Yes.
That was, you see Big Bird, Sesame Street.
Yeah, and every kid from diapers on up knew, Big Bird. Iconic. That's like McDonald's. It's Big Bird.
And that was my second point is, when you're a kid, when we were kids, there was no Elmo. There was none of that sort of stuff. Big Bird was your first friend on Sesame Street.
It was, yes. He was the original 5.
Snuffleupagus was Big Bird's friend that nobody could see but Big Bird.
We'll be getting all that.
And it's like Oscar the Grouch wasn't your friend.
Yeah.
But Big Bird was your first friend.
I'm surprised they never brought Big Bird over to the Muppet Show. That would have been a good, but they almost didn't need to.
That's what I was going to say. There are a lot of good Sesame Street characters that could have gotten good run on Muppet Show.
Well, here's what also made me choose my best 5. Because this top 5, they almost deserve their own spinoff. They could have had their own show.
Yeah.
Speaking of spinoffs, remember
Big
2
Bird-
episodes we did spinoffs.
Yeah, they gave Big Bird a movie, though.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, Big Bird had a movie.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He had a movie where he was like looking for his bicycle or something.
So he was worthy of the spinoff. That's what got me on the list. Now, who is number 4, totally worthy of a spinoff, and won a great character, was, of course, Grover. We love the Grover. He had a vulnerability about him.
Dude, he did. And I forgot a lot about Grover until they
like a
had...
monster.
It was some insurance company. Started using Muppets a couple of years ago when they did the Muppets revival. And they had Grover on an ad. And it was a thing where he's like, oh, we're going to do this thing. It's going to be great. And then the whole thing implodes. And then Grover's just backpedaling. He's like, no, it's great. We'll fix it. And that reminded me of the way Grover was on the show.
Yes.
He was always like backpedaling, trying to cover for stuff. I don't know why.
Yeah, and he's kind of a blunderer, but he was kind of smart, but he was kind of,
but he's kind of a
humble and
huckster.
silly.
He's kind of like, nope, it's okay. It's good. I'll tell you why,
And he could have had a spin-off in his own right. They should have spun off Grover.
I love Grover.
I did
so
too.
funny to me.
Now, number 3, let's go down. They could have had a spin-off too. I put these 2 together. Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker.
Dr. Bunsen Honeydew and Beaker. I mean, those 2 beg for backstory. You get a little bit of them on the Muppet Show, and you're like, wait,
yeah, they had a
where
lab,
did they come from? What is their life like? Why are they together? You're like, what is happening with these 2?
Yeah, obviously, Dr. Bunsen Honeydew was kind of like, he was the smart one, but he had no eyes, and then Beaker had the big eyes, but he was me, he was meeping.
Well, it was almost like the Dr. Bunsen Honeydew's, like, I always picture that his glasses were so thick because his eyes were so bad that it made his eyes so small that you couldn't even hardly see them.
Right, yeah, like a Magoo thing.
Yeah, Magoo thing, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so I like them.
And wait. I always thought in my kid brain that Dr. Honeydew somehow made Beaker.
Oh, like Beaker was kind of like a Frankensteinian kind of creature?
Yeah, somehow, yeah.
I don't know. That could work. I don't know what their backstory would have been if they had a spin-off. Who knows?
That's the thing. It just
there's a lot
begs
of
it.
there's a lot of room to play there. I'm surprised they didn't add to that.
Yeah, you could definitely dig into that. I mean, maybe they didn't dig into it because it's all dark, and he didn't create what's the sidekick I just said? Dr. Bunsen Honeydew. Beaker.
Oh.
It's like maybe he didn't create Beaker. Maybe Beaker's just a suffering mutant born that way. Maybe it's a sad,
maybe he's
tragic
special
tale.
needs. Maybe he's just special needs.
Yeah, maybe they never dug into it because it's not fun. I don't know. Who knows?
Could add a spin-off. Here's another.
Makes you wonder.
Well, let's go to number 2.
All right.
Stadler and Waldorf.
Stadler and Waldorf, both named after salads. No. What was it?
They were hotels.
Hotels, yeah. That's right.
Salads.
Well,
I never ate a Waldorf salad.
Are you kidding?
No, I don't know what that is.
Yeah, Waldorf salad is the salad that they used to serve at the Waldorf Hotel.
Oh, well, it was named after the Waldorf Hotel.
It's basically a salad with some nuts in it. That's it. It's a regular salad, and they throw some almonds in it or something.
But those 2 characters were really good. They're kind of like an odd couple, but they think the same. They're hecklers. They would have been a great spin-off.
Once again, what's their backstory? How did these 2 meet? What's their origin story?
And why didn't they have a show? That would have been one. They should have Mystery Science Theatered them. Imagine them heckling a real movie, back in the day.
Oh.
They could have done it great.
Stadler and Waldorf commentary, like MST3K style, over like old 80s canon movies.
Yes, or like 70, or other like a Milton Berle special or something like that. Oh, it would have been money. Money.
It could be funny if it was like bad 80s movies.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, like
watching
a Hasselhoff movie. Like the Knight Rider movie.
They're just like taking it apart at the writing level.
Now, my personal favorite should have had a spin-off. I think was the greatest, probably my personal favorite Muppet of them all was Gonzo. Got to give it to Gonzo.
Gonzo, really?
Yes,
number 1
for me. Now I got honorable mentions, which we'll get to. And let's not even go to the worst yet. The worst is going to be a whole nother shit show. That's going to get everyone mad at me. But the Gonzo, now picture Gonzo, not only was he a stuntman, they shot him out of a cannon, he was always doing jackassery. He had the rats around him made it too. The rats were awesome. You gotta have the rats.
No, wait. The rats were a thing with Rizzo as their leader. Gonzo always had the chickens.
Oh, the chickens too? Yes.
Which were his girlfriends.
Right, okay.
Because he was King Stud with the chicken.
Right, yeah.
The
he
hens.
was like a Don Nazi, kind of dorky, kind of, you know.
To everybody in the world. But the hens were like, oh, you know, he'd always have one that was his girlfriend, and there were like 6 or 7 other ones.
So was
that were just
Gonzo like a special needs rooster or something like that? Or like a...
I think they saw him as like the alpha bird.
Right.
They're like, he's sort of bird-like, but he's from
or is
space.
he like a really dumb hawk or something like that?
No, because he was from space. He was actually smart, but he just didn't get the way things worked on
didn't
Earth.
they in the movie divulge that he was from space? Yeah, he was an alien or something like that?
Yeah, there was that
in one of
Gonzo
those
movie.
Muppet movies, like Muppet Movie 3 or something like that. That was later.
Yeah.
But I liked the Gonzo. He always just made me laugh. When they shot him out of a cannon, I gotta say, there's a lot of room for spin-off on that character too. How he would interact with humans was perfect. Like he knew how to play straight guy and comedic role with humans very well.
It was almost like whenever he interacted with any of the humans, I mean, I don't know, this is a deep reference, but he almost like takes this sort of subservient role like Baldric on Blackadder. You know, if anybody's seen that. If you haven't seen it, go watch Blackadder. It's widely regarded as one of the best.
Boy, that's a deep dive. I don't even know what that is.
Well, if you don't know, do you know Fawlty Towers?
No.
The John Cleese series?
No. I don't know what that is.
These are some of the greatest comedic shows ever made. Watch Fawlty Towers. It's hysterical.
Gonzo, though. Back to Gonzo, number one. Where are you at with him?
Gonzo, I
think he had a lot of layers they didn't peel back that they should have.
Well, they did in that movie where it was, what the hell was it called? You're right. It was like the third Muppets movie. It was about Gonzo. It was about it was the plot of E.T., but it was Gonzo as the E.T.
God.
So he made the phone. He phoned home, and they came to pick him up.
Oh, Jesus! I see that. I saw the trailer. I've never seen the actual movie.
Not the Great Muppet Caper.
Yeah, that was a sleuth. That was a whodunit.
Yeah. It was a second one, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it was something Gonzo's Space Odyssey or something. I forget. But yeah, it was like, and then his whole thing was like he's like, oh, I'm lost for my people. I got to get back to my people and stuff. And then he calls the ship, and then the ship shows up, and then he's like, I don't know these people. He's like, I've been living here with you. He's like, maybe I know
my
people.
people.
Yeah. Spoiler alert.
I know. But honorable mention, which could have made the list, but I couldn't find a hole for him, was, of course, I left him off for this. The Swedish Chef was nice, good character, but he didn't have a lot of depth.
He was sort of a one-trick pony.
Yeah. Didn't have a lot of depth. Good visual, good idea, but then once you got past the original gag that he's dervy.
Yeah, the gag is he's throwing stuff around. That's the gag. He's got real hands.
Calamity's his gag. So, okay, we like the Dr. Teeth band. Now, they made appearances, the Dr. Teeth and the Electric Mayhem band.
As a unit, they're strong. As individual characters,
Yeah, not really. Yeah, because you had like Rolf, the piano player. You got Animal. You had them all.
He was only auxiliary sometimes in the band. Dr.
Teeth was he was like the crazy wacky one.
He's the keyboard player.
Yeah, and then they had the stoner chick, and then they had
Janice.
The saxophone guy was
Janice
good.
was the guitar player.
Yeah.
It was Blue Lou was the sax player.
Blue Lou. Yeah, I like Blue Lou. He was fun.
Floyd, the bass player.
Floyd, the bass player. Yeah, Floyd was like the stoner guy.
He's like, what's up, man?
Yeah.
I like Floyd because his eyes were sunglasses, but he'd blink with them.
Right, his big furry eyebrows would go over the clinic.
That made me laugh every fucking time.
So, that was worthy of a show in itself. I'm surprised they didn't spin off the Electric Mayhem band. Now they've kind of done it nowadays. Modern bands have used them in videos. I think didn't Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters use them?
Probably.
Yeah,
if there's anybody that could get away with it, it's Dave Grohl and the Foo Fighters.
Right. So, or was that, I don't know, Weezer might have, I don't know, who knows. But, so, okay. So those were my honorable mentions. Now, here's where we get to the worst list.
Okay. Now, I want to say, I've got a few thoughts, but I'm not going to do my thoughts until you're done with your list.
Yeah.
Then I'll do my thoughts.
Well, okay.
I've definitely got a top 3 at this point.
Okay,
That are completely
okay.
different than your top 5 list, but I don't know if they're on your bottom 5 list, so I'm not going to say.
Well, my worst list is going to get controversial. This is where everyone's going to go, Aaron, I hate you. I want you to walk into traffic.
I mean, you have left some Mount Rushmore-sized Muppets untouched to this point, and I don't know if you're going to tap them up or not.
I know. If anybody deep dives old episodes and you hear me go, it stinks, go, you know. Well, this list is going to say it stinks. Here we go. The worst Muppets.
So these are the bottom 5 Muppets
That, according to me, stink.
that were on Sesame Street and or Muppet Show. Blah, blah, blah.
You're going to hate me for this one, guys. I think Animal stinks. I said it. I said it. Animal stinks.
I mean,
Not a lot of depth there.
it's like Animal is...
Plays the drums, okay. Cool.
Animal's analogous to the Tasmanian Devil. And if you play in rock bands, every fucking drummer you jam with either has a tattoo of Animal or the Tasmanian Devil.
It's a scourge. It's a
They
scourge.
love it. They identify
drummers
with
love Animal.
one of those two.
They think Animal's like, I'm Animal. My friends got me Animal because I'm crazy.
Crazy on the drums. Which
The character stunk.
I believe the craziness of the drum player of Animal is based on Keith Moon from The Who.
This is true. This is true. Yeah, I want to
And
hear.
I heard when Keith Moon would get fucking drinking, he was a lunatic. His nickname was Moon the Loon. He was nuts.
Yeah.
Like this whole thing about rock stars trashing hotel rooms, that started with Keith Moon. He was just nuts.
I don't
had some
think
issues.
Animal had any depth. You couldn't spin that off.
No, that's the thing. He was a one-trick pony.
Yeah.
He played the drums, yeah, and then he spazzes out and goes, rah! That's it.
Yeah. And let alone as a drummer, yeah, right, keep to a click track, because, I mean, you could tell he's going to spaz out and he's going to be all over the meter. His metronome probably sucks.
And it's not like at some point we see a different side to Animal, and we find out that he's really caring to, like, small animals.
Yeah, or
something.
does he snuggle up to a human girl?
Or
you
he's,
know?
like, really talented chef. Like, there's no multi-dimensionality to Animal. He's just...
I know. I would have liked him to maybe like, oh, let's fall in love with Morgan Fairchild or something like that, you know?
That'd be hysterical if he had like a poster of her in his locker.
Morgan Fairchild. So, all right, here's number 4. Let's go down the list. Next one, no depth. I think Cookie Monster sucked. Sorry. I said it. I liked him at first as a kid.
Now
when we were little.
you said you're putting this list together in terms of thinking about who could maybe like, do a spin-off sort of thing.
Yes, I want a
Yeah.
little bit more beyond
again,
what we were doing.
Cookie Monster is very one-dimensional.
One trick pony, okay, he eats the cookies. He's trying to resistance,
And
explode!
I agree.
Which is the same thing as Animal.
it's the
resistance.
It's the same thing as Animal.
Explode!
But they were in the 2 different arenas, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they are sort of analogous to each other. All I can say is I do have a soft spot in my heart for Cookie Monster.
Yeah, I do like the way his velvety blue looked, though. I like the look,
Yeah.
and I like the wrinkles, like when they show his shoulders and his hands moving. You could see like weird little wrinkles and stuff, which were kind of cool. Like
Yeah.
as a Muppet, he's kind of cool.
But I loved the early in Sesame Street, there was because they'd go out and film like these filmed bits. The bit where he's at the picnic table, and then you can see way back in the distance the dump truck backing up
Yeah.
to him and then dumps all the cookies on him. I loved that when I was a kid. Because I feel like they shot that twice. Because they used to play it where it didn't have the dump truck, and then they had the dump truck, and I thought it was the funniest goddamn thing when I was like 5. I loved it. So that always made me love Cookie Monster. But outside of that little film,
Not much to it.
No, he's not
and
much
especially
to it.
when you tried to cartoon it or something like that, you couldn't do anything with it. It was
Although
just,
it was sort of entertaining when he would take the cookies and you know he's a puppet and he can't eat the cookies, so he would just smash them on his face.
yeah, crumbs would be flying all over.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
All right, now here we go. This is where we start getting content. This is where people go, Aaron, I can't believe you said
What are we
it."
at? 3, 2?
We're about to go to 3.
All right, we're on 3.
3. Elmo stinks.
Oh, Elmo does stink.
Oh, he's just such a pussy.
Now, once
he's
again-
a pussy. Elmo's a pussy.
Now,
he stinks.
Maybe this is a generational thing. This is a generational thing in the way that what is it like we who grew up with the original Star Wars movies, we think those prequels are fucking ridiculous and they make us nuts. But to the kids that grew up with those prequels,
all right,
it's as legit to them as the Star Wars that was to us when I was a kid. Which people make that analogy, but I disagree. Because when those Star Wars prequels came out, you had previous Star Wars. You had previous toys. The whole world had been influenced by Star Wars at that point. When we saw it, there was nothing like it.
No.
And then there's one thing, like I said, it was like...
And I always wonder if the Sesame Street world was getting a little harsh and they wanted to soften it up. We have to put a little sensitivity in there. And the only sensitivity they were getting was Big Bird's being huggable.
Point of
they
Sesame
needed something
Street.
huggable. So there they go. They add Elmo. And Elmo's a big hit. He probably tracked with the kids. Everyone loves Elmo.
I mean, I just saw a video on YouTube recently where they were talking about the episode where Mr. Hooper died.
Oh, yeah.
The old guy who played Mr. Hooper. This Big Bird episode, dealing with the emotions and grief and death and all that sort of shit for the kids and all that sort of stuff. But I agree. At some point, things got so soft and gushy that you needed Elmo, a sort of
it was that whiny voice. Yeah, that baby. I think
sing-songy.
it's more the voice. If they would have had a better voiceover, I could probably tolerate the character more. But I hate the Elmo voice. I think it's just a cop-out for a voiceover.
Because the thing about the Muppets was, when we were kids, before the Muppet Show came around, that sort of stuff, I mean, Muppets used to be on late-night shows.
Sure.
The first Muppet special was named Sex and Violence. I don't know if people know this.
No.
It was, so back in the 60s, whenever the Muppets would appear on Carson, the Muppet skits ended up with one Muppet eating the other. You know what I mean? It wasn't very, it wasn't the kiddie stuff people get used to,
Yeah.
So the Elmo undercuts all that.
Elmo stinks. Number 2, let's go on. Miss Piggy stinks.
What?
Miss Piggy's the worst character ever. She's I hate to say the C word. I'm going to say it.
What?
Miss Piggy's God.
What?
I said the C word. Oh, I know.
I feel like I know where you're fucking bullseyeing in on your number 1.
No.
Because there's still like a whole top 6 that you haven't even touched on. Okay, so Miss Piggy, why do
because she was pretentious.
Yes, but that's her thing.
She manipulated poor Kermit, who loved her, and she bossed him around, told him, no, Kermit, buy me, and she was a pretentious, diva. And she had no depth, and there's nothing redeeming about her except for superficiality.
I agree, but I love her as a character. Just for how shallow she is, and how superficial, and how money-grubbing, and how fame-seeking.
I mean, it worked when they were doing the Muppet Show because
it's a great dynamic.
Yes, it was backstage, and she was the diva actress.
She's the diva actress. And if you watch that Muppet Show...
once you go beyond that...
You watch the Muppet Show, watch her development in the first, half dozen, 8 episodes. Yeah. And then because they had different people doing the voice. She had different eyes. She had little black coal eyes.
Yeah, they started getting her mascara better and adding
They got
bigger,
the eyes better. They had the eyes really bad at one point. But when they gave it to Frank Oz, and he did the voice, and he said... It said in the script that she hits Kermit, and he goes, hi, and does that whole thing. It's like the whole character just kind of crystallizes.
Oh, the bonsai chop. Bonsai chop.
Yeah, the karate thing, and her diva-ness, and then, they got her in, diamond necklaces, and,
and they tried to bounce her out of the pretentious role and say, okay, we'll do the pigs in space bit. Remember the pigs in space
Pigs in Space was there first.
Yeah, that was Sesame Street, wasn't it?
No.
Oh, that was Muppet Show.
She was on Pigs in Space, the first since the beginning.
Yeah.
There was just a blonde pig with the coal black eyes.
Oh, that's right. That Pigs in Space.
She didn't say anything.
Yeah.
And then they had, the scene where they're dancing around the ballroom. They had her in that.
Yeah.
But she had a weird voice.
Okay. So you thought I was going to... Now, that's number 2, Miss Piggy. You thought I was going to hone in number 1 on the Kermit. But I left Kermit off the list for multiple purposes. Because Kermit deserves the ultimate respect. Kermit is that.
He is.
He's the ultimate crossover. He can work everywhere. I didn't even give him the number 1.
Kermit
because
was OG.
Kermit is he's in a
Kermit
world of his own.
was there in the 60s on Carson in black and white. Kermit's there in
I like when he was
Sesame
a
Street.
news reporter.
Oh, the news, that made me...
The news reporter Kermit always cracked me up.
I forgot about that. Because it was like Sesame Street. He had an actual job.
Yes.
And then when Muppet Show came around, you're like, oh, is this what he does in the evenings?
Right. And I liked him being a mentor for Robin.
Yeah.
So yeah, I didn't even bag on Kermit.
No.
So I left Kermit off the list out of respect, because I respect the Kermit. But my number one, the worst character of both series. We gotta go here. Snuffleupagus sucks. Dude, I know. I think it was the worst thing. I mean, yes, when we were 5, oh my gosh, is he going to make an appearance today? And nobody could see Snuffleupagus. He was just a slumbering elephant.
Wait.
Slumbering elephant.
Didn't he just live behind the wall?
He lived in an alley next to the garbage
Oscar's
can.
garbage can?
Yes.
Wasn't that it?
Yeah.
Well, all Big Bird did was open the fucking door and go in there and talk to Snuffleupagus?
Yeah.
So it's like if Gordon or Mr. Hooper opened the goddamn door and went in,
Yeah.
they would see Snuffleupagus.
Yeah, or if they moved the fucking dumpster or whatever,
So was Snuffleupagus an imaginary friend that no one could see, or was he just shy?
Well, they turned him out. They made him a real character later on when we were growing up and we were done with that show. But when we were young, he was Big Bird's imaginary friend.
Yeah.
He was a figment of, and he would tell Big Bird when Big Bird was going, I feel a little lonely today.
I was talking
He'd go,
to Snuffy.
You don't have to be lonely. You have everything to do. It was kind of his
and then
conscience.
Big Bird would be like, oh, I was talking to Snuffy. And they go, who? And he was right here. Where did he go? It was like that sort of gag all the time. Yeah.
It was a weak-ass character. Can't stand on its own. It's slumpy. It's slow. The pacing stinks. Now, they did give the Miss Piggy eyelashes to him later on in life, which gave him a little bit more character.
Oh, he had full, like wireframe eyelids and big lashes and shit.
Yeah, I think he stinks. Oh, I know. All right, so we got minimal time, but we'll keep. You got a few minutes, but that's my list.
I got a few honorable mentions. I just on the top end of things, probably a top 3. I would probably say Kermit number 1.
Yeah, of course,
because he's
that's
the
why
king.
I didn't put him number 1. Kermit's in a world of his own.
I would say number 2, Miss Piggy. I think Miss Piggy's a real
You like
strong
the Miss
character.
Piggy.
Yeah, I mean. Granted, Miss Piggy is sort of a she's a shallow sort of horrible character, but she's got these different aspects to her personality, and I like it when she snaps out and starts reading the riot act to someone. I like when she's like playing the victim and put on. I just enjoy.
I do like when who was the clipboard kid that she'd yell at on the Muppet Show? Scooter. Yeah, I like when she got mad at Scooter. Because Scooter was kind of a subdued character.
Yeah,
Scooter would go, okay,
he'd get nervous and go, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, Scooter had they could have made Scooter into somebody.
I enjoyed Scooter. I always wonder what Scooter's backstory was.
Yeah, Scooter was kind of like Fozzie Bear, where it's kind of like, yeah, we knew Fozzie Bear was a bad stand-up, but there could have been better layers to him.
Yeah, and so that's where I'm going with my honorable mentions is kind of this sort of top 4 or 5 pantheon. Yeah, Fozzie Bear. I love Fozzie Bear.
Yeah.
I think Fozzie Bear, because he's got the ambition.
And he tells the real bad dad jokes.
Why does he have the ambition? Where is he trying to get to?
He wants to be a stand-up.
But he doesn't get it. He doesn't understand it. You know what I mean? I think that's funny. I love Fozzie Bear. Rolf the dog.
Yeah, Rolf had some wisdom about him.
That's the thing I really liked about Rolf, is that Rolf would be sort of... Like, he was like the bartender in all those movies from like the 30s and the 40s when we were kids.
Yeah, the voice of reason, that would be like
reason,
the conscience, the smart conscience that everyone go, hey, you really should be.
Yeah, there'd be like just chaos around him and he'd be like,
Yeah.
There was something solid about Rolf.
And as a puppet, he had like a tight curl to him.
Right.
And you could almost reach through the TV and pet his little curls,
I loved his floppy ears.
Yeah, floppy ears.
The hands in the gloves playing the fucking piano. And he's just slapping on the keys and singing and the ears are flapping and shit. I don't know. I love Rolf. Rolf makes me laugh. Sam the Eagle always makes me laugh.
About Sam the Eagle,
so hard.
That was basically Sam Donaldson.
Yeah, but he's like the uptight guy because he's like the
Walter
Margaret
Cronkite.
Dumont from like the old Marx Brothers films, the old Margaret Dumont who's always like, oh.
Yeah.
He's like that. He's always shocked at everything. He's like the old uptight Republican that's like, oh,
yeah,
these kids today,
the newscaster. Yeah, and then you always give him the news, and he had that firm.
I love that. That fucking makes me laugh.
I forgot about that one.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So those are just the ones that kind of popped into my head on the top side. I mean, we're talking fucking Muppets, and of course spanning the shows and everything. I mean, yeah, you're right. Kermit is sort of a default. I mean, you should almost sort of take him out of the running just because.
That's what I figured, because Kermit's on his own. Kermit's almost so iconic that he's literally
the face of the Muppets.
And if you were to see Kermit appear nowadays, like on a show, it wouldn't be weird. Like if Big Bird walked out, at the Jimmy Fallon show, you'd be like, Big Bird.
Yeah.
But Kermit, you almost, all right, it's Kermit. I was on panel with Kermit. You can bring Kermit out to fucking Bill Maher.
I think the guy that did Big Bird, I think his last name was Carroll. Carro.
Yeah, he was like a mountain man guy. He had a beard. He was kind of he looked like the singer from that band.
With Jethro Tull.
Kinda. Yeah.
No, he was just a regular looking dude. I was thinking Carol was his first name, but then my brain, the only Carol as a first name other than Shelby is Carol Struchen, who played Lurch in The Addams Family, and that's not it.
Yeah. So that was a fun list. I think we did it today. How are we doing on time? We're good. We're right on schedule.
I mean, as long as we don't piss off the gods of TV scheduling and timing.
Yeah. And so if you got a list, hey, if we forgot something, or you got any links, send us a message.
Yeah,
put it
seriously.
In the comments. I like comments. If you want to do comments, go right ahead. Let's start a community, man.
thedocast@gmail.com. We'll pop the email address. Pay attention to what's on the screen more than what I say.
Yeah.
In terms of the address. But yeah, let us know if there's something that we missed, something you don't agree with, something you love. Put it in the comments down below. Definitely tell us what's up. Tell us what you think in the comments because I kind of want to read it.
Yeah, I know. And tell us if you actually own a Daniel Boone hat like that I was talking about.
Old school coonskin cap.
Send me a picture of yours. Now, I'm jealous.
I would be super interested in an actual coonskin cap made from raccoon skins, like old school 1700 style.
Yeah.
That would be interesting. Number 2, Davy Crockett coonskin cap from the 50s.
Oh, the Davy Crockett.
Would be interesting too. Yeah. I imagine they're in bad shape at these points. They probably weren't made to the highest quality.
Yeah.
But
I don't want lice.
I am sort of fascinated with that whole sort of 50s Disney period of the the Daniel Boone, the Davy Crockett, the whole that was definitely a thing where once again it was all there in the 50s and stuff. We saw it as reruns 20 years later.
Right.
So it was always a certain amount of detachment to where I was like, when was this cool?
Yeah. Huh? Yeah.
It was sort of fascinating.
I know. But, and word to the wise kids, don't order your raccoon skin hat from China. Apparently their raccoons in China look different.
Red pandas.
Bye, everybody. It's the Shlicketty Newcast.